Hello everybody, MicroSpecGamer here. So today I'll be talking about most of the Multiversus characters. I see a few characters, or at least one character that is... I never played with him. I don't think he's available yet. I have to check the game if it's even updated, but I played with most of them. And we'll see. I'm gonna list everyone here, if they're broken or not. So first of all, let's go right away, and before I actually continue with the video, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I noticed that there's many viewers, but most of them are just not subscribing, which it will help me so much if you guys do. So on to the video. We have Arya Stark, and I feel like I'm kind of mixed about her. I think she has a similar issue to another character I'm going to mention afterwards. But I think that I play with a good Arya, and it really depends. I think I would put her in between these, but it's kind of... she is still kind of underpowered because of the amount of combos you have to do to even knock someone out. She doesn't have much good kill potential, but she could be a godly with a good player. Like I've seen those characters before. But I think she does need a buff, definitely, with her damage, or at least with her knockback. Then Batman. You guys might not agree with me, but I think Batman's broken. His battering is just almost unavoidable. Sure, I can dodge it. I can do as many dodges as possible. But the thing is, Batman is crazy broken since he will chase you everywhere. Doesn't matter where he throws it. And the thing is his upper hits are usually very hard to avoid. He pretty much will hit you more than you hit him, and he has the grapple gun saves him way too much. There's only like 2 or 3 characters that counters him, and those are Superman and to some degree Taz, I would say, but it's kind of hard to say. Maybe Wonder Woman with her shield. But yeah, Superman pretty much would counter him the hardest. But I feel like he's definitely in the broken tier because of how fast he can just spam some of the combos, and he just has great mobility. He can spam the battering and the explosive one, which is... it just seems kind of broken when it has the weakening effect, the broken bones effect, pretty much, as you know in the game. Bugs Bunny. I think he's great. They nerfed him, but he's still pretty powerful. I think that he could be maybe nerfed a bit with his speed. From what I've seen, he has higher speeds than an assassin, which is... so I've heard some people debating on removing the classes, or the types. Because I feel like Batman was an assassin at first, and then they changed him to a bruiser. So I don't know if it's a good tactic to actually keep those. Really, I feel like it's a mixed bag. But Bugs Bunny is definitely far better than the balanced characters. Surprisingly, there aren't many balanced characters in the game. Some of them are just too underpowered, or some of them are just overpowered. Finn. I think he's actually one of the balanced characters. They nerfed his spinning backpack attack. I feel like he might be fast, but he's not too overpowered like before. Also, I've seen a bunch of ways to counter him. Like, first of all, you have to be aggressive with the Finn. Obviously, being close to him all the time is not good, but range attacks are pretty much your best friend against him. I'll just put him on solid balance. I think he's in a good spot now. Hardy, I've seen her getting a buff. I think she does need a bit of a nerf now, but she is pretty hard to use. Like, her bomb is not really an efficient way to take someone out, and it's pretty easy to avoid. Her uppercut ability, like the hammer, that is pretty annoying. But I think she's a minor. Like, you have to understand, people in the grade section, they just need a small nerf, like a very small nerf. It's almost not noticeable. But I think she could be a solid character soon. Jake. I feel like he's an annoying character to play against, but I feel like he's balanced. I know some people might hate me for this, but He definitely counters range attacks. He's pretty much like a better version of Taz. Honestly, I feel like he's just a better version of him. The chicken thing is not really that good with Taz, which I'm going to mention after, but I feel like he's a solid character. He's definitely weak against aggressive players because his attacks are pretty slow. But you should just avoid being underneath him. That's probably the best thing to say. And every time he does those, the house, or when he shapeshifts, just get away from him, or you can even use him as a trampoline against him. Garnet, I feel like I can't really decipher her. I played with her, but not too much. I think that Garnet would be right here and underpowered. I feel like she's similar. She's pretty much like how would I say it? You can see every move before she even does it. I've seen a professional Garnet. I know she can be terrifying, but her attacks are way too slow, way too how would you even say it? Like, you just see it coming. I know there's a word for it, but you just see it coming. I feel like she does need maybe a bit of a speed buff with her animation and attacks. Other than that, she's pretty solid. Her only thing I would say underpowered though, the biggest thing, is her star ability. Batman can come back at any time. She has to wait for her ability. Kind of seems unfair, but they have similar abilities. Just that Batman can literally just go in anywhere and save himself almost every time. Rain Dog. He was nerfed. Unnecessary nerf. I feel like he'll just be right here. You have to either bring him back to how he was, but I know he was nerfed. I feel bad for people that played Rain Dog. Rain Dog is one of the hardest characters to use and as a support, but also he is still pretty hard. He's still pretty good, just that he doesn't seem like, I feel like he's just in that weird spot where they nerfed him. He didn't, an unnecessary nerf. Shaggy, I would put him at broken still. Despite his kick, despite them nerfing him a few times, I think, or maybe one time, his kick is still pretty overpowered. I knocked people out at 50, so that's crazy, at 50 with his kick. Plus, with one of his quirks or his special abilities, when he uses the sandwich, it cuts off his charging time by quite a lot of time. You could just spam that and you win most of the time. I only lost with him against a good Arya, which is very surprising since she's not really that good. Other than that, I think Shaggy is pretty broken and he needs a nerf. As for Superman is great. I think he's just probably the best tank in the game. I mean, there's literally like what, 3 tanks in the game right now? Not too many. I feel like he's just like, he's definitely a counter to Batman, because if Batman grapples to him and he has that throw, he just flies to him. Like, he does this and that's it. He's done for. Superman can chuck people out of the map from upwards or from the sides, so he's a pretty solid state, but he is super slow. He's a tank. Pretty much almost any character here that's fast enough can counter him. Jake especially, because he's a close range character and is very quick. And yeah, Jake and Finn are pretty much good counters against him. I would say maybe Bugs Bunny, but it really depends on how you use his projectiles. Steven, underpowered. I played with him way too many times. I don't think I won even once. I think maybe once I won with him, but against a very inexperienced player. I know he has great combo potential, but he should do way more damage. I feel like he needs a damage buff. Steven is just in that area where he can do 3 times the combos, 3 times the hits as everyone else, and you will still not even budge the character out of the map. Unless if you use the shield that he shoots against them on the edge of the map, or if you push a shield upwards when they're on the edge of the map. Like, you have to be right on the edge for him to knock them out. Also, Watermelon Steven is pretty useless. I think he needs a buff. Make him more aggressive. He doesn't even attack much. Either make him more aggressive or make him like beefier. He has to be able to take more hits. So yeah, I feel like Steven is probably the worst support character, even worse than nerfed Rain Dog. Now, and I actually enjoyed playing with him, so don't get me wrong, I actually like playing Steven, but he's just so hard to use. So Taz, I feel like he's a bit underpowered still. Has almost no range aside from a spitting fruit thing. His chicken now goes to 18 instead of 16. He has to charge more. I feel like they should have made it that you cannot dodge as a chicken, just because the chicken is like when a character gets hit 18 times, or at least as many times as possible for the amount, they should be like at least, I would say, 10 seconds, and also slow down. Like Taz needs a good buff instead of his tornado. That tornado, I know it's pretty annoying, but it gets interrupted by any projectile, so almost any character here can interrupt it. So yeah, I think he's so underpowered. Iron Giant, I didn't play him enough. I feel like he's just slow, but I just don't like the way to play him. I played him only like a bit, very little, but he's a giant target. So Bugs Bunny, I would say Bugs Bunny, Taz, and probably Batman would counter him pretty easily. Like I don't see how we can counter any of those characters. Tom and Jerry. I feel like Tom and Jerry is actually balanced here, but I know some people might not agree with me. Once you kill Jerry, Tom's abilities are cut by half. Like if you kill Jerry, that's it. He becomes very weak, or at least still decent as a character, but his projectiles can be countered by Jake, can be countered by so many other characters. Also Taz can eat his projectiles, Steven can block it. There's so many ways to counter Tom and Jerry. They can be one of the hardest hitters in projectiles, but you have to understand, without Jerry, if once you kill Jerry with one hit, that's it. He's very weak, but he can be very good in 2 vs 2s, and as long as you keep Jerry, I guess he can be very good, but he cannot utilize most of his moves if they kill Jerry every time. Velma, they nerfed her. I still think she's pretty solid. She's a support class. She's supposed to be like a glass cannon. She hits pretty hard still. I know they changed the cop ability to the mystery machine, but I feel like it's I wouldn't say one character. It's kind of hard to decide, because in the end, the villain always gets caught by a cops, but then there's a mystery ink machine. I think she's pretty solid. I know she got nerfed, but it's kind of hard to place where she would be, honestly. I would say between, like, more in this area, but it's kind of hard to say. I would say she's probably better balanced now than before, just because of the amount of damage she does. And in 2 vs 2s, she's still pretty strong. She's pretty solid when it comes to balanced. I think that Wonder Woman, her shield is very good, although she's not slow per se, but she doesn't have much range aside from her lasso, so she's not really a good ranged character, but she's good. Like, she is pretty much good in almost every area, She's one of the heavier characters, not as heavy as Superman, but definitely a tank still. And she can be very aggressive. Also, she has the best shielding in the game. Especially in 2 vs 2s, she can be pretty powerful with a glass cannon character like Tom and Jerry and Velma. LeBron. So these two, in my opinion, are just the best balanced characters so far. All of these are still good, but to some degree they can be also in the underpowered category or overpowered, which is really just great. But I think LeBron, it has a pretty solid moveset. He's pretty much good at every situation. He's like, if you compare Soldier in Team Fortress 2, he's like the generalist. He has range attacks, he has uppercut attacks, he's not a tank, of course, but he has a lot of good moves and one very solid killing move, which is the one he just slams. He like dunks on the opponent, which is pretty fun to use, but it can be interrupted pretty easily as well. It just depends on the timing. LeBron has one of the best combo potentials in the game. I can just say that, and I do main him. I do play with him more than anyone else, because I feel like he's not too overpowered, and it's so satisfying beating a character with him. Like, you don't feel cheap as in using these characters. I'm sorry, Batman fans or Batman users, but I just feel like he's just overpowered. And Shaggy, you guys already know why. But I feel like he's the most satisfying character to defeat a character with. Morty, underpowered. I wouldn't even debate it. He has so many utilities. Maybe in 2 vs 2 he's good with like Steven. You can use the bubble with Steven and then his Rick's spaceship. But other than that, Morty is one of the weakest characters. I only lost to Morty maybe once after all the times I actually fought them, and there were so many Mortys I fought. I feel like he's just underpowered. I just feel like he needs a damage buff. Other than that, he has so many utilities, a lot of crazy potential, and he's one of the hardest characters to actually use. Rick, didn't play with him. I have to see if he's even available. I think there's only a teaser for him. I've seen a bit of gameplay of his teleportations and his Meeseeks clones, but other than that, I can't really say anything about him. There's not enough info. And I kind of forgot his freaking name. Is this Gizmo? I keep forgetting his name. But I'm really trying to remember the character's name. Some of them I just... Yeah, so Gizmo. I hope that's how you pronounce him. I didn't play with him enough. Some people say he's underpowered, but he is pretty heavy for his size and he has the smallest hitbox in the game. So he's not exactly a bad character per se, from what I heard. So I would place him in between like balanced and underpowered around this area. Maybe a bit more on the balanced side. But I've seen crazy Gizmo characters, really hard to he has great range and great physical abilities. Well, he's more of a ranged character, of course, but he can hit pretty hard with those legs when he goes downwards. He's similar to Jake in that regard. Other than that, Gizmo is definitely somewhere in the... I'm not sure because I didn't play with him enough. But this is the chart I have here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's my opinion, so of course, it's based on how... Like, I played with almost everyone here, but I feel like this will be the chart. I'm not sure if you guys agree with it. Disagree, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I still don't like Batman. I know you guys, if some of you play Batman, I just don't like his moveset, the way he can interrupt anyone almost instantly. Especially when you play against him with lag. I know servers are pretty unstable still, but he's just the most annoying character, even more than Shaggy, and I feel like he's just unfair to play against. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn notification bells for more videos like these. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!